Hi, everyone. I'm DeFi Dad. You're watching episode 38 of Yield TV. I wish everyone could hear my background. There's like a storm going on outside. And like right as I said, you're watching Yield TV, I heard like a thunderclap. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a sign of things. So anyways, we've got some awesome content to learn about today. We're lucky to have 4 of the ETHOnline finalists, all of which are projects that relate to DeFi. And so, yeah, we're going to bring each of the teams up one by one. We're going to start with Mindful. So we've got Chris and Maddie from the team here. And yeah, I really just want to learn about like what's the problem they're solving, actually see how it works with a live demo. And then if folks have any questions, they can ask in the YouTube live stream at tv.zapper.fi. Also, I'm going to be tracking what's on the Yield TV Twitter account. So if you have any questions, you can ask them there. Let's see. Other than that, I think we're all set to go. So Chris and Maddie, do you want me to play that video before we get started?
Yeah, go for it. It's a good way to cover the problem, I think.
Sounds good. Cool. Thanks for being on. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to just rewind back and we'll share. Here we go. All right. So can you guys see the meme? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to hit play. Everyone, forgive me if the audio isn't as great, but we think this will work. So here we go.
Here we can see a crypto degenerate in his natural habitat. He rejects proven safe strategies in favor of being an ape, buying tops and selling bottoms time and time again, demolishing his hard-earned gains, ruining his chances of accumulating generational wealth. Trading is a hard game to play, but what if you didn't have to play it? The Daily Normal once said, disciplined smart contract-based investment strategies lead to happiness, undisciplined degeneracy leads to suffering. It is time to silence your inner degenerate. Introducing Mindful, portfolio alignment for degens. Mindful was created by a team of...
Cool, so you can pause it there.
That's fun. I love it. And I'm going to throw into the comments here. Here is the link to that video if anybody wants to watch that. So that goes out. Cool. So let's start just briefly with Chris and Matt. Tell us about your background. Like, who are you? And I guess, how did you end up at the ETH Global Hackathon?
Yeah, you want to start, Chris?
Sure. So I've kind of been in the Ethereum and the DeFi space for a bit of time now. Like since pretty much like 2017, was doing stuff on Ethereum, building and hacking, and have done a bunch of hackathons. I currently am an engineer at UMA, and I work on the infrastructure there, which is like my day job. And then Mindful is kind of like a side project that we had this idea, which we'll get into a little bit later. But we kind of got to this hackathon having done probably like 8 or 9 hackathons as this team together, from ETH Berlin to ETH Denver and a bunch of other hackathons. So this was just like one along a line of many hackathons that we had done. And we kind of had this like common problem that we really thought this was like the one project that we've made at a hackathon we wanted to take further. So yeah, that's kind of my TLDR.
Yeah, I have been doing crypto stuff on and off for like a long time, but I kind of dived into the Ethereum side in 2017, 2018, and then kind of got sucked in. Was working over doing product design and marketing communications and stuff like that over at Glassnode, on-chain analytics firm. Probably seen a lot of this stuff around.
Oh, wow.
Then,
cool.
Yeah,
I realized that.
It's a good time.
Both very reputable teams you both come from. Yeah.
yeah. Now fun employed and doing DeFi stuff full time. So.
Awesome. Well, hey, we can go about it where we can start to share your screen and talk through it. Also, if you'd like, maybe we could start with what's the problem you're aiming to solve, unless you'd rather just proceed with the presentation and kind of cover that along the way.
Yeah, let's chat about it maybe a bit first, because normally we had slides, but I think it's nicer to just chat through the problem. So basically, I think anyone who's like really been involved in DeFi in the last couple months would have probably experienced a similar problem that our entire team had, which was that you made a lot of money doing really stupid shit that you shouldn't have probably made, and then you subsequently lost like a lot of that money. So and our entire team suffered the same issue. We all like FOMO'd into tokens and made lots of cash and then lost a lot of cash. And I think like on average, most people sort of made more than they lost, which is great. But the issue here is like, you don't really have a very sort of mindful strategy towards your investment thesis. It tends to be very FOMO based and like following things on Twitter. And it's difficult to have like a consistent strategy towards this. So everyone at Mindful sort of suffered the same problem, and we kind of wanted to build a tool to try and solve this issue that we had. And this kind of came about after, I think this is like probably the second or third hackathon project that was trying to solve the same problem in different ways. And we really tried to like hone in on what is the core functionality that we need to solve these issues. So the core idea behind Mindful is to try and build a portfolio that you can manage, where you can define the assets that you want to go into this portfolio, and you can define the weightings thereof. And this portfolio is created as a balancer pool. And then you can then define what, and we call this portfolio a chakra. So you create your chakra and you define the weightings in the chakra. And then what is kind of novel about Mindful is that you can add on DCA strategies, or like dollar cost average strategies, onto this chakra, where you could say like, every week I want to buy $1,000 worth of assets that goes into my chakra. And then it will automatically take assets out of your wallet, market buy those assets on Uniswap, and then deposit them into your chakra. And then on the flip side, you can set up profit-taking strategies. So you can say, if the value of my chakra goes up by a certain threshold, I want to sell a certain percentage of them. And you can exit out of that strategy as it goes up. So you could still do crazy things like put pickles and Wi-Fi V15 into your chakra if you wanted to. But at least you're having a bit of foresight around what the distribution is and how you're buying, and importantly, you're taking profits. Because I think really at the end of the day, that's the big issue here that a lot of us face, is that number go up, we get all euphoric, and then we like lizard brain kicks in and you want number to go up more. So we really try to like solve that problem by sort of locking in a strategy beforehand and trying to codify a thesis around how you should like mindfully enter and exit into these positions.
Yeah, I was only laughing because the language everyone uses with the lizard brain and FOMOing, and it's funny. And I would argue, if people saw my portfolio, I'm actually rather conservative. But anyways, Chris and Matt, do you want to share screens then right now, and we can actually start to show how this works? Because I mean, it sounds amazing to me, because I've always been really excited by anything that automates these decisions around like holding like a well-diversified DeFi portfolio. Indexes have been super fascinating to me, like the DeFi Pulse Index and Power Pools Index.
Yeah, one of the other motivations we had for making this was actually that occasionally we didn't like the allocations that a lot of these indexes had, and there's not a lot out there that kind of lets you set up your own. So if you don't want to be holding Maker, you're kind of stuck with it if you're getting the DPI or DeFi PyL. So we wanted to kind of add a little bit of flexibility in there as well.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is, are you somewhat inspired by PyDAO? Because some of what you've shared, it reminds me a lot of why we've all been really excited by PyDAO, just because those balancer pools allow you to get exposure to lots of tokens. And then I think the coolest thing with PyDAO is we're excited to see more of the pies working, because then you can stack them on top of one another, and you can have exposure to lots and lots of tokens.
Yeah, so our code base in the beginning was actually forked from PyDAO. So it's very similar in a lot of ways. The chakra is basically a pie, but that's, instead of being managed by a DAO, it's managed by an EOA. So like the allocations and the distributions are controlled that way. And then like the logic that we added that obviously PyDAO doesn't have is like this profit taking and the DCA strategies. and that's kind of built on top of it. But definitely there's a lot of composability within pies. And, you spoke about like having pies within pies. Well, a chakra within a pie, it has a lot of interesting properties, as well as, nesting them the other way around. I think the main difference is like there's this complexity with a balancer pool where if you can add additional tokens to it, there's like a lot of weird things that can happen. So like if you're in a pool that I control and then you add like a substantial amount of money to it, I can just sort of slide in a token that I control and then shift the weightings of that token to 100% and then like dump on you, right? So like PieDAO solves this issue by it being governed by a DAO, whereas we solve that by like you controlling the pie. So, or the chakra. So, but yeah, definitely lots of like future variants of this that could integrate more directly with PieDAO.
Oops, there we go. Okay, cool. So do you want to share your screen, Chris? I can see you sharing it. It's just, it's on the live stream. So whenever you are showing a different tab here, I'll add it.
Can you see the screen?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yep, you guys are good to go.
Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we'll go through the flow of like creating a chakra first, and then like looking at the dashboard for the chakras. So we can go here and like start off by naming the chakra. And then you can choose the assets you want to add. So this will load in like literally any asset that's on 1inch exchange, because they've got like a really nice token list. So we can put some WETH in here. We can add like some Aave. Wait, I think that may have been the wrong Aave, but it doesn't matter. We can put some wrap Bitcoin, whatever. So you can choose the assets you want to put in it. And we're going to put some pickles, because even though they've had some fun in the last couple of days, they're still a good project. And then you can sort of choose the allocation. So we've got this, like, we put a lot of effort into the front end where you get like this sort of responsive feedback as you choose the distribution. And then we can see the breakdown of what's going into the chakra. And then we choose the initial allocation. So maybe we're going to go from some Aave Wi-Fi, and then we can approve that asset. This is currently on like a local testnet, but it would approve it, and that's going to take in the single asset. Or we can do the exact assets, and that will like transfer each of these if we had them in our wallet. But we'll go with this initial amount, and then you can see based off of how much we're contributing. So that's the current price of Wi-Fi. This is how much of each of the assets we'll buy when we deploy the initial chakra.
And can you remind me that this is all powered ultimately by Balancer then? Are we like creating like a Balancer pool?
That's right. So we would create a Balancer pool which has these assets within it, within these weightings, which you can obviously change at a later point if you so choose, the weightings or the tokens within the pool.
Cool. So you've really taken, if anyone's ever tried to create a pool in Balancer, it works, but it's not super visually pleasing. This is definitely a much like prettier sort of like gamified version of that.
It's also really difficult to set up your own smart pools as well through Balancer, which is, is there actually a front end to that?
Oh, there's the DCA. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to not stop you from keep going. Here's where it becomes more interesting.
Yeah. So we could then go and say like, what is the asset we want to buy into the pool with? So that like, this wallet, this is like a fake wallet that I've got connected. It's got some interest-bearing tokens. Because I think it makes sense to like, if you're going to be buying at a regular cadence, maybe take from an interest-bearing token. So maybe you like I don't know, you want to use WBTC to go into your chakra. So you could specify that, and it's a WBTC, so it's going to go straight from Aave. So you still get interest on your assets beforehand. So we can go like 0.1 BTC per day or per week or fortnight or whatever. And we can see the breakdown of what it's going to do. We can just turn that on. And then the profit taking strategy. So, percent of chakra is to say like, take profit after a 10% increase in chakra value. And then we want to take maybe 5% of the chakra's value. So every 10% the chakra goes up, sell 5% of all the assets within it. And then you can specify what you want to sell out into. So maybe we want to sell into a stable coin, because we got to be mindful here. This is the goal at the end of the day. So yeah, we can set that up, and you can also specify like a percentage of profit, but the percentage of chakra is easier to think about. Then we go next, and for whatever reason, this thing is not behaving quite as it should be, but we should see the allocations here, and then we can deploy our chakra just by clicking confirm, and we get a message saying that it's disabled on mainnet because, got to be mindful. We haven't had an audit yet, but it's in the works, and shout outs will be on mainnet in like mid-December, hopefully, once we've had an audit.
Wow.
So that's kind of the flow with creating a chakra. What we can do now is go back here and load a sample chakra to see what the interface would look like for a chakra that has already been deployed. So I think this is the USDC logo. Not sure why it's not loading over there, but let's just ignore that. So we can see like a breakdown of the value of the chakra over time. And this is a pool with these assets in it. This is an actual balancer pool that is loading the data from. So you got a kind of like a Xerion Zapper type look going on over here with the graph. We can zoom in and out on this and see like the performance over different time periods, which is kind of cool. And then down here we can see like some metrics around the chakra, like the performance to date and things like this. We can edit the strategy if we want to, such as like changing the contributions. We can modify the profit-taking strategy, and we can obviously also pause it if we so feel. Importantly, you can FOMO in. So at any point, you can choose to deposit additional collateral if you want to, or FOMO out, which is to sell at any point. You can exit early, basically, if you want to do that. And then we can also go across to the asset breakdown, and we can see like the contribution within the chakra. We can filter this table, see what the different assets are doing. This is quite a rough listing here, but Wi-Fi has been doing well in the last 7 days. And then switch across to history and can see like the specific things. Got to be ready for tax season when that comes about. So that's pretty much the demo of the front end and what it can do. Some other features that are here that I'll just quickly mention is eventually we want to have like a find a guru type thing, which is kind of like set protocols, social trading, where you can copy people, but instead it's more personalized, where you can still have control over your individual chakra. So maybe you want to like copy some of the elements, but add a DCA strategy on top of it. This is still kind of in the works in terms of how we want to design that and differentiate the product. But basically that's the idea, where you could follow like top performing chakras and have some similarities with that. And yeah, we want to add obviously like some analytics around what the DApp does and all the different users within the ecosystem. So yeah, that's pretty much the demo.
Wow, there's like so much there that you guys built in. Actually, Chris, can you go back to the edit strategy if you reshare your screen? I just was curious. Can you change up the weightings of your strategy? Like, let's say I've got a pool with X amount of. You
can, but we don't have that set up just yet. There was a lot of front ends to build, as you can see. But the contracts can do that. Just the front end doesn't have that just yet. But eventually you'll be able to. It'll have like the same kind of slider meme where you can, pick the ones you want and drag them along, kind of thing.
I think the coolest thing about this is you'll hear lots say, "Oh, I like the DeFi Pulse Index, but like I wish I could change it. Like I wish I could add this token and remove that token." And this basically empowers you to do that.
You can add DPI directly to your chakra.
Yeah, that's just it. And then the taking profits too is something I haven't seen anywhere yet. And that is, as you called out, it's a part of the problem. It's really easy to go long in many different assets in DeFi, but it's much harder to take profits or at least to automate that. And then DCA is just that's like one of the most popular ways for people to invest in crypto. So, wow, so cool. I guess we've got like 1 minute left with you before we want to bring on the next team, but anything else to share in terms of like, when do you think this will be available to everyone on the mainnet?
Yeah, we're basically
currently, you can go, Matt.
Yeah, okay. We're targeting like mid-December for a kind of mainnet release, hoping to start getting an audit in place towards beginning of December. So keep an eye on Twitter, et cetera, for updates on how everything's going. But yeah, we're hoping to get version 1 out, which is chakra management, DCA, profit taking, out mid-December.
That's awesome then. And sorry, I was just looking to see someone was asking a question about who's going to go next here. But yeah, really cool product, guys. I mean, I would be really excited to use it. Kind of combines like some of the best elements of PyDAO and SET, and then the DCA angle is the DCA angle combined with taking profits. Yeah, just looks really, really interesting. I think like it'll be even more popular once you have those gurus in place as well. But I don't think you need the gurus to launch. Me personally, like I would be interested to try using that without the gurus. Even like if you try social trading, like on token sets, they do a fantastic job of making it easy. And many of the sets have actually outperformed the market. But at the same time, like, you do need some data or some time to see a set perform. So same thing with those gurus. Once that goes live, eventually we'll want to like watch which ones are performing and which ones are not performing. Well, thanks so much for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it. Where should people follow Mindful?
Yeah, we're at Mindful Cash on Twitter. I mean, Twitter's the way to go.
Let's follow on Twitter. There's no Discord or website yet, right?
Not yet, but yeah. Twitter will be the first one now. Oh, actually,
here's the website.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we'll have, let's see. Oh, cool. We're gonna have Croc Finance come on next. So Chris and Matt, I'm going to remove you from this, but you're more than welcome to watch in the digital green room if you want, or virtual green room.
Awesome.
So thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Okay, so I'm going to bye-bye, and we'll bring on Jan and I missed one more. Robert. Here we go. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Nice to have you on.
Good to be here.
Yeah, Jan and Robert, where are you based out of? What part of the world?
Well, we are both from Czech Republic. We are classmates for 13 years, I think. And but me personally, I'm now in Mexico because of Corona and weather, and Robert is in Czech Republic.
So cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for being multilingual. I always feel terribly. I only speak English, and thankfully you're able to speak more than one language. So thank you so much. So why don't we start with Jan and Robert? Would you prefer to start screen sharing, or would you like to tell us a little bit about Croc Finance and then show us what it looks like?
Okay, I think we can first introduce what Croco Finance is and then go through the project.
Cool.
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah.
Oh,
okay,
no, just funny enough, I've been on your guys' website before because I was trying to show people how impermanent loss works. So just excited to see what you've been up to since then. But anyways, yeah, tell us, why did you create Croc Finance, and what is the problem you're trying to solve?
Okay, so Croco Finance is an impermanent loss analysis tool, or in general, analysis of users' liquidity positions in decentralized exchanges. And we decided to build this tool because we are following crypto Twitter, and we realized that nobody has any idea what's going on with their money. So it was kind of amusing to see people with millions of dollars in Uniswap, and they are surprised that there is some impermanent loss or something. So we saw this.
Most people don't understand impermanent loss until they go to zap out of their liquidity provision and they go, what happened to all my money? Why is there less of this in there? So anyways, yeah, keep going. What were you thinking could help them?
So we decided to build this tool. I mean, there are some alternatives to us, but we felt that there is not a coherent tool which would like load data from everywhere and present it in a unified form. So that was our motivation to build the tool. I guess I can now show the project. Yeah.
I think it'll come more to life for most, because I know when I didn't know what it was, and once I started playing with the like the levers or the meters, you can start to see how much impermanent loss you would incur. So let me just make sure I add. Whenever you start sharing, I'll add your screen.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes, I'm sharing.
There we go. All right. Oh, wrong screen. Let me add this one. Cool. And then, are you on the tab you want to be on, Jan? It looks like I did a live stream. There we go.
Yeah. Right. So this is the Croco Finance landing page, and into this input, I just put my some random Ethereum address.
Awesome.
And we just loaded the data. And on the left, you can see like the summary of all the active pools, and below it, there is a separation into active positions and past positions. In the active positions, those are the positions from which the user has not yet withdrawn the assets. So when I click on it, for example, wrapped BTC and wrapped ETH, you can see an overview of the pool. And you can see that the pool share at this point has value of $28,000, how much fees you earned, and how much you get from yield reward and transaction expenses. Then below it there is a history of pool share value. So we realized that the interpretation of impermanent loss is really difficult for users' positions in which the user changed the positions multiple times. So you can imagine that you deposited, I don't know, 5 ETH into wrapped BTC, wrapped ETH pool, and then you added another 5 ETH at a different point in time. So this interpretation of impermanent loss was really difficult in such scenarios. So we decided to build this chart, which shows it on this specified intervals.
Interesting. So am I able to track, even if I've like exited a pool, like I will go into an LP and exit it later. Am I able to track that? Oh yeah, there it is, past positions.
Yes. It's the past positions here, and you can see it in the chart that like for example, the last snapshot here was on September 24th. So the user withdrawn his assets on September 24th. And when you select these intervals, you can see how much fees and such user had on this time interval.
Wow, very cool. Can you show us the simulator? Or sorry, actually, just keep going. I see there's a compare strategy now as well. That's not anything I noticed before.
Well, the compare strategies is not yet done, but we will have it done like within a week. So I think I will go straight to the simulator. Okay, here's the simulator, and on the left side you can see the uni and v labels. So using this slider, I can change the prices of the various assets. And here we have charts which show like initial pool value and the final pool value, and how much the pool value would be if we just held the assets.
Very cool. Yeah, this is something of all the things that are awesome on Croco Finance. This to me, it's something, if someone just plays with that, you realize like why, when one of the two tokens skyrockets in price and the other one doesn't, you're not winning. In most cases, you are incurring like some pretty sizable impermanent loss versus having just held the two tokens. So
on the right in the compare strategies, like our current plan is to compare the current like assets to the strategies if we just held the input tokens or if we just held ETH. So for example, that way we can like realize that we are in a pretty bad positions compared to if we just held ETH and not uni. And we also would like to, these strategies will be also compared to like the specific assets like individually. So there will be a hold uni, hold E, and that's it for now.
Yeah, I gotta say, not to just blatantly have to plug Zapper, but I would love to eventually build zaps on pages like this, because then you can show someone different opportunities, and then all they have to do is, they don't have to zap it through Zapper. They can actually use a zap on another website like yours.
Yeah, we definitely we know that Zapper is the overall portfolio tracker. So we decided to just build a tool specifically for liquidity positions in decentralized exchanges, because we think there's actually quite a lot of features to add. And
There is.
I feel like all the cryptocurrencies are just going deeper and deeper, and you can build so many tools around it that we decided to build Croco Finance.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm wondering, is there anything else to share right now? Like, is this, so I've gone on Croco.finance before. Is that available to everyone to use now, or are you waiting to release like a full version?
So we just recently released a new version, which is loading the data directly from our database, because we had many issues with loading the data from the graph directly, and for users it was failing many times and it was very inefficient. So we just recently released a new public version, which is on Croco.finance, which should be stable. And over the next few weeks, expect us to add much more features. We've been silent. We've been a bit silent since the hackathon because it was just not working correctly, the data loading. But we've now solved the issues, so I think we will be pretty fast now with new features.
That's so good to hear, because I was getting it to work with some addresses before, but yeah, you guys clearly fixed whatever the issue was. That's awesome, because this is actually in one of our Zapper FAQs. I made a quick little demo using Croco Finance, so that's something that I'm hoping people will start using now. Let's see, guys, anything else worth sharing, or anything else you'd like the rest of the DeFi community to know about Croco Finance?
So I think the website now is pretty simple, but we will add more features soon. So we will not share nothing now from the website specifically, but our main goal is to create a tool which will give user perfect understanding in what scenarios user will be profitable and at what scenario it won't be worth it to deposit the money into the pools. So if anyone from the community is missing something in the Croco Finance, we would be more than happy to hear from them, and we will make sure we will add the feature.
Yeah, and make sure if anyone wants to follow the project, go to @Croco Finance. That's on Twitter. And then I'm double checking. Do you have a Discord community already?
Well, we are now active more on Telegram. There are quite a few people now on Telegram.
There you go.
We have Discord as well, but we don't have an active community there yet.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Links are on landing page.
Excellent. Yeah. If you go to Croco.finance, you'll find the link to the Telegram then as well. So, well, guys, thanks so much. This is really cool to see live now, just because again, I really there's been a few tools this year where I was this is a really important concept that people need to learn about, and impermanent loss is very difficult to wrap your head around, but that simulator makes it so easy. And then on top of it, being able to track past positions. I don't think there's any other tool that does the past positions. Liquidity Vision, which I think is now APY.vision. Anyways, fantastic tool also for tracking liquidity provisions, but I do not believe you can track the past position unless you use the premium version. So cool to see that you guys offer that.
We didn't find the tool which would properly include all the rewards from yield farming and every little details like that, including the transaction cost and such. So we really want to create an overall tool which could even be used for accounting and similar purposes.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Well, hey, congrats on your success so far, and we'll look forward to more updates. Hopefully, we can have you guys back on the show sometime. So I'm going to add Sebastian from DePay next, but Jan and Robert, good to meet you guys, and yeah, keep building.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
All right, adding Sebastian. Here we go. Sebastian from DePay. Sebastian, anyone else that is joining from your team, or just you?
No, the team is watching actually the stream right now, but they're not joining.
Excellent. Cool, man. Awesome. Well, welcome to Yield TV. Maybe we should start with some of the usuals. Can you tell us about your background, and then would love to learn more about the problem you're solving with DePay?
Sure, but I will go a little bit more in the past than the others. So I'm an engineer since almost 20 years. Back then it was still called programming, and IRC was the main thing of communication in the internet. And my free time I spent playing Counter-Strike 1. And I got to the crypto sphere very, very late, considering that I'm an engineer since so long already. So what got me into the crypto space is Gods Unchained. I'm not sure if you heard of that. It's like Immutable's approach of bringing Magic the Gathering, the card game, onto the blockchain where you actually own the digital cards as NFTs.
Sorry, I misheard you. You said Gods Unchained, right?
Yes, Unchained.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, of course I know Gods Unchained. Yeah, very cool.
They got me into building on top of Ethereum because you don't need to ask for permission. So I actually built one of the biggest community pages in 2018 on top of Gods Unchained, which is gu.cards. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. You ever heard of that?
No, I don't know that, or I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, and that's like how I got into the crypto scene. And well, a year later, after also going through a lot of experience of how certain projects spawn their own payment tokens or utility tokens, or actually just paying in the decentralized web in general felt so clunky and inefficient. So this idea arose from those negative experiences, and then I wanted to build something to improve payment experience in the decentralized web. And then I actually built a solution throughout the hackathon that I could present now. The problem that this tries to solve is the experience that you might know is that websites or DApps, they often send you to an exchange in order to get their token first, or any token. A lot of pages just accept 3-4 tokens, and maybe you have something completely different in your wallet, and then they send you and go exchange first and then come back so that you can pay us. And it's not really straightforward. So let me start.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've run into. I feel like it's gotten a little bit better lately with DEX aggregator APIs are starting to show up in more places. But yeah, let's walk through DePay and kind of see how all this works.
Totally.
Oh, here we go. And then Sebastian, oh, there we go. I see it now.
Perfect. Yes. So that's I think a lot of people know that example. And it's a really good one because even Uni just offers you to pay in Ethereum. And if you don't have enough, you come buy their Uni socks, and they're going to send you to their exchange in order to swap something. And in general, decentralized exchange experience is not really for the average user, because trying to explain how they're functioning, as we already learned from the previous presenters, is not really straightforward. And what we know from the real world is that people want it to be convenient, and they want to understand at the point of sale how much they're going to pay for whatever product or service they're going to pay for. So that's why we raised the payment experience in decentralized web to a new level. And I'm gladly can present DePay to you. And if you look at this, that's the configurator for any DApp or website that wants to receive payments, and it translates to this small snippet of code. And in this example, where somebody configures the receiver and what he wants to receive, in this case 10 ADI. And then when he puts this button on his website, what happens is that the DePay payment widget opens. And the interesting part is that it scans the entire wallet of the user, tries to identify everything of value that could be exchanged in real time on a decentralized exchange, also identifies the most cost-efficient route, and then offers that as a means of payment.
Wow, yeah.
almost real time. You've seen how fast it is. I was actually surprised myself how actually quick the first implementation was already. But like users, they don't have to stick with that suggestion. They can basically use whatever they want out of the wallet. In my current wallet, there is not really a lot. There was more during the hackathon when I actually presented it. But
I like the I mean, the stylizing of it reminds me of Uniswap, and I think we all love Uniswap's design. It's just easy to read. So this is kind of like Stripe had a baby with a DEX aggregator, and
Stripe had a baby with 1 inch. That's
yeah, it's really cool. I guess I'm curious, would you be able to incorporate other like DEX aggregator APIs and become like a meta aggregator, or do you have to be the one that's doing the routing here?
Well, we are already, like, as part of the hackathon, we also implemented Mooniswap just to show that it's possible to actually abstract the different decentralized exchanges, and we're just gonna keep on adding, just like 1 inch is like adding new ones every week or month. We're gonna add new decentralized exchanges just to ensure the most cost-efficient routing, because if you don't cover all of them, you can't really claim that you offer most like cost-efficient routing.
Yeah. So do you envision this being on more crypto native type sites that cater to people who are already in the space, or are you potentially targeting I don't know, I want to call them like newer folks to crypto? You know, like we're seeing PayPal get into the space, so I think we're going to see more crypto payment options, especially with stable coins in the coming years.
Well, I think that for crypto sides, it's like a no-brainer because it's so easy to add, and like this experience basically everybody wants to have for their users. But we're also gonna launch non-crypto retail plugins, for example, for Shopify next year, where we actually also give non-crypto shops a chance to offer that. Because in the end, the more payment methods you allow, the better your conversion. It's like a numbers game, right? The more you offer, the easier to pay.
Sebastian, if I click change next to the network fee, is that like, okay, that's it, to change the gas? Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We kind of, for us to make it really understandable for the user how much he pays before it hands over to MetaMask, it actually calculates or considers the network fee. There's also a feature upcoming from our side. If you think about classic consumer payment regulations, for example, certain countries are actually required to display the final end price, including all fees, which is currently not happening because it's so difficult to do that on the website itself, because you would need to build all that gas estimation beforehand, and actually helps to actually show the final price to consumers too.
Yeah, I mean, it's really smooth looking. Like I'm looking at it, and it's something that, I mean, I know the experience of paying in stable coins and in different crypto applications, and it's very, very pretty to look at here. I guess at this point, Sebastian, anything else that you'd like to share about the project?
A lot of people are interested because we recently had to like put our heads together and think about the next 4 years, because we literally started like a journey with this thing. Like we're like committed now to deliver. So it's not going to stay with that product only. And if you're interested, just like head to our website, DePay.fi, and just go through our product lineup that we have scheduled over the next 4 years. We think it's like really interesting that what's going to follow based on that, because there's so much more that we're going to build on top of that.
You know what? I totally missed the fact too that you have a token with this as well already. So this is already launched. If you go to DePay.fi, click on token at the very top, and there's the DePay token. I guess anything more to share there? Like I guess how decentralized is this now? Like, do you have a DAO launched with this, or is that something that's coming down the road?
That's coming. Like as Vitalik said in the beginning, we need to roll, and then while it's going on, we have to hand over an exit to the community, and that includes all of our protocols and basic products, which we plan to hand over entirely out of our control over the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, really cool. Wow. I mean, you guys have done a lot since the hackathon. I just didn't realize how much was actually here. So really cool to see that. How, Sebastian, how big is the team now, or how many people do you work with?
We have 3 people right now. We're scaling up next year too.
Very cool. Yeah. That's wow. Well, I guess I would encourage everyone to go to dpay.fi to check it out. Obviously, if you go there, let me just see, was there? You guys have a Discord group, a Telegram group. Yeah, super easy to get a hold of. So go there. You can also follow them on Twitter. That's at DePayFi. And I guess other than that, Sebastian, just thanks for joining me. It's really cool to see, and like super smooth looking, like really looks, I mean, it looks to me like, the best in class you see in Web 2, which is kind of what we have to get there eventually. Otherwise, we're not going to get more people to adopt DeFi.
Exactly.
Yeah. So cool, man. Thanks so much for joining. And I guess I'll be removing you in a moment, and we'll add Alex from Unite. So tell the rest of the team I said congrats as well. So thanks for joining, Sebastian. And let me remove. Oh, there we go. Gosh, couldn't add you guys. And let me add Sebastian as well, from another Sebastian from Unite. So guys, thanks for joining us. Welcome to Yield TV. Maybe we should start out with your background and then talk a little bit about what it is that you built here with Unite.
Thanks for having us, DeFi Dad.
Oh man, thanks for coming on, Alex. I feel like you've given me some nice compliments today. I need to replay those for my wife when she's telling me that when she's asking me, what are you working on? I'm like, listen to all the nice things Alex from Unite said about me. So, but anyways, yeah, Alex, Sebastian, do you want to tell us a little bit about like what were you doing before Unite?
Sure, Sebastian, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm Sebastian from Unite. Before joining Unite, I was actually a freelance developer, which I've been for some years. I've also been involved within a couple of startups outside crypto. But I've been in the crypto community for around 2 or 3 years, but decided around a few months ago to go full-time, or more or less full-time. And that and to kick off that journey, I started to join the ETHOnline hackathon, and I met Alex in the Discord channel in there. And yeah, we discussed a few topics that we wanted to tackle in crypto, and we eventually decided to do Unite. And yeah, and the hackathon was a crazy journey. So now I've created most of my freelance clients and try to get Unite up there. So that's what I'm doing full time now. But yeah.
Awesome. And Alex, can you tell us about your background as well?
Yeah, sure. So I studied financial math and worked in finance for a few years and got really like bored and depressed. And then I got into machine learning, and I've been running a sort of machine learning company for the last few years. And got into crypto in sort of like late 2016, early 2017. And had this problem in my machine learning business where we needed to label lots of data to train machine learning models. And saw the ETH Cape Town hackathon last year and built a sort of way to get people to do work and get paid for it, and also sort of like verify that they do a good job, where we did this like quadratic voting skill-weighted consensus thing on Ethereum, and won a bunch of awards at ETH Cape Town for that. Try to turn that into like a real project, and enterprise sales is really hard, and I kind of burnt out in the process of trying to make that work. But then Kartik let me know about ETHOnline, and yeah, got really excited about ETHOnline, and met Sebastian in the Discord, and 2 other people who we worked with on the hackathon. Yeah, really excited about social tokens and Unite. And yeah, Sebastian and I are now full time. Like, this is our main thing. So yeah, excited to tell you more about it.
Can we do a quick shill of ETH Global and ETHOnline? Like, I think many people in the community know what it is, and like what a great experience they provide for builders. But can you guys just share a bit more about like, I guess like it's different now because everything is completely online at this point. But you know, there's been a lot of live events in the past, and we'll get back to those once we get over this world-ending pandemic. But yeah, what else can you tell us about the experience with ETH Global?
Yeah, I can start. Actually, the reason I joined the hackathon was not to be able to build a product that I could work on full time after hackathon. Was like a nice to have, but it actually was just like a way to get into the community with face-to-face experiences. Because before the hackathon, I was mostly around Twitter and random Discord channels. But after the hackathon, I got to talk with a bunch of people, and it got me to a point where it feels like there's more connection after hackathon, because I know a lot of people in the community now, and it's easier to get your name out there and get some hands-on experience after such a hackathon.
Yeah.
So that's was what I intended to do when I joined the hackathon, but it got way beyond what I expected it to be due to it being an online hackathon. So that's a great experience. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I really can't recommend ETH Global enough. It's been awesome to meet so many cool and inspiring people, and ETHOnline especially was an amazing experience. I mean, the weekend hackathon that I did at ETH Cape Town last year in person was great, and I got to meet a lot of people face to face, and in some ways it's a higher bandwidth communication, but it was much more like fleeting. Whereas an online communication, like I've made a bunch of really good friends and connections through ETHOnline who I still talk to like pretty much every day. And yeah, it was awesome. And it was also great to have a more sustained conversation with the sponsors, because a bunch of the people from the sponsor teams really helped figure out like, you know, what to build and how to like implement some core technical pieces. So yeah, it was great. Like I'd highly recommend that everyone do ETHOnline. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's one of the things that really has made Ethereum a great community, and I would attest that Ethereum is where it's at today just because of ETH Global. So, okay, Michelle Dunn of ETH Global, Alex and Sebastian, could you walk us through Unite? And either one of you, if you share your screen, whether it's slides or the actual live product, I can put it on the live stream then.
Sure. Let me try to share my screen. It should be coming through.
All right, here we go.
Hey, all right. So I'm gonna take you through a quick presentation and a quick demo, and then we can jump into questions and have a more relaxed chat. So yeah, so social tokens have been blowing up lately. I'm sure you've seen some of these things that have been going on, but yeah, they've been blowing up lately. And Brian Flynn, who has his own social token, recently posed a list of questions. A big one being, what are the best ways to do a social token distribution? So our team was thinking about the space and trying to figure out like what to build for the hackathon. And around the start of the hackathon, at the start of October, I jumped in with a suggestion to give away social tokens in exchange for social media engagement. And Alex Masmej, who tokenized himself, he has his own token, this Alex token. He replied saying that he thinks it's an amazing idea. And the next day, he tried my suggestion with a tweet saying that he's giving away $5 in Alex tokens to the first 100 people who retweet. And in 17 minutes, he got the retweets and grew the number of token holders by like 25%. And he added that the Twitter algorithm stopped him from sending DMs because he was DMing people a role link where you could like claim these tokens that you got for the campaign. And he like manually had to check if they did the tasks. And then the Twitter algo stopped him from sending DMs. They were like, he said like 25 or so. And then it was like, no, you're a bot. No more DMs for you. And also some people like don't have DMs open. So it's not like a really good solution. So yeah, that brings us to Unite. And Unite is essentially a tool to automatically distribute tokens to your community. That's what it is right now. We'll talk a bit about our like bigger picture plans after we go through this. But the way it works is, so you first connect your wallet and log in with MetaMask. And then you enter your Twitter handle and verify your account by signing a public tweet. This is kind of what the Dark Forest guys did. So you basically sign a tweet, confirm, and then you land on the dashboard. So this is where Alex Mesmej would create his first campaign. We want to offer many campaign types, including like retrospective airdrop to all your Twitter followers, and campaign types across all Web2 platforms, not just Twitter. But for now, we're gonna look at rewards for retweets. So click create campaign, and then enter the campaign details. So we enter campaign name. We'll go with test in prod. We enter the ERC20 token address. This could be any ERC20. It doesn't have to be a social token, and you don't have to be the issuer. You just need to have this token. So you enter the ERC20 token address. You then need a tweet URL for the campaign. So here we're replicating the tweet experiment that Alex Mesmej did. So we do the tweet, grab the URL, enter that in, decide how many people to reward. So we'll just go with 10, and the tokens per reward. So we'll go with 100. And then we go through 2 MetaMask transactions. So the first is we need to approve spending these Alex tokens. And the second is we need to actually send those 10 people times 100 tokens each, those 1,000 tokens, to the Unite smart contract. Gotcha. So we complete that transaction and wait for it to load, and then done. Campaign's being created, and Alex can see like 0 people have claimed so far, and he can like monitor the status of the campaign. So then a few moments later, Alice is on Twitter, and she sees Alex's tweet, and she's like, "Oh, free money, yay!" And so she retweets, and then goes to Unite community to claim her tokens. And so rather than like pushing the tokens on her like Alex did in his experiment, instead of it being a push mechanism, it's more of a pull mechanism, kind of like the Uniswap airdrop. You just like push these tokens, you have to come get them. So Alice comes to Unite, same like Alex, she has to connect her wallet, log in with MetaMask. And similarly, she has to verify her Twitter account. So she goes through the same process, doing a public tweet, confirming, and then lands on the homepage. And a few moments later, sees these rewards that she's earned. So in the background, we have a Twitter bot that's like constantly checking the campaign tweets and then allocating rewards to her. That's centralized right now, but we have some interesting plans to decentralize that we can go into a bit later. And then she can withdraw these tokens. And so she did, like right now she has to pay the gas to do the withdrawal, but we're also looking at implementing meta transactions and having the campaign creator subsidize this process. So she waits for the withdrawal, and then the withdrawal is complete, and she's got these Alex tokens in her wallet. And so she can then so Alex tokens, for example, she can see on his website that there's a private Telegram group that you can only access if you hold Alex tokens. So she goes through this process of like interacting with a bot that checks her MetaMask and makes sure that she does in fact have Alex tokens. And then instantly she has access to his private Telegram group. So yeah, and then Alex, meantime, can see the status of the campaign. He can see that Alice has claimed her tokens and like monitor the progress. So something interesting happened. Like we were testing our DApp and going through this process of like publicly signing tweets and verifying, and people saw these tweets. And like we haven't even launched yet. Like we're still very much in like private beta alpha. But people saw these tweets and started to like verify and try Unite themselves, including Coin Artist, who I know you had on Yield TV, and I'm a huge fan. Shout out Coin Artist. And she has like 40,000 Twitter followers and her own social token, Coin, which I'll show Coin too. I'm a holder. And yeah, like we talked to some of these people, like we got over 300 signups, and a lot of these people have tokens of their own that they already want to distribute using Unite. And yeah, I mean, we're currently on Coven, and we're running our first mainnet campaign with Alex Mesmej in the next few days, like hopefully tomorrow, but we're just like debugging and trying to get everything working. You should follow Alex Mesmej on Twitter and keep your eyes out for that campaign to get some sweet free Alex tokens. Well, not free, you got to like do the campaign. And yeah, I mean, we've already showed you like what it looks like to access a private Telegram group by holding a token. But you could also access like a token permission newsletter. So I'm pretty active in the Jam community, and in contrast to Substack, with Jam, it's not an expense where every month you pay for access. You hold the tokens and you get access while you hold the tokens. You could also do something like exchange tokens for a video call or a consulting call or a shout out, or token permission Discord, token permission Telegram. RAC has his own token. He's this Grammy-winning musician, and you could do something like early access to concert tickets before they sell out, only for token holders, or discounts on merch, and really, you could do anything you want with these tokens. I think token permission access is going to be huge. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we're looking forward to your questions.
This is so cool. Obviously I don't have a creator token myself, but like I've thought before, if I ever did one, that I would want some more sophisticated tools like this. But this is so smart because it reminds me a lot of marketing automation, like a lot of the magic you do with like a Marketo or Eloqua or HubSpot, and it just makes it easy to take really like organic interactions. Which, I mean, if you say, hey, if you retweet this, someone has to actually retweet it, and if they do that, making it easy for them to be able to claim it. One thing to clarify: let's pretend 101 people retweet it. Is it a race to be one of the first 100 to click on the claim? Or does we're not tracking like in real time, like, okay, this was the 101st person to retweet on Twitter, so they're excluded from the bunch. What is the race there?
No, so we are. I mean, maybe Sebastian can jump in here, but we're consuming the Twitter stream, so we do keep track of the order in which these actions happen. Yeah, so it is a race. I mean, I think these campaigns where it's like take some action on social media are interesting. They can be a bit spammy, and our like bigger picture view is to become like the full stack solution for social crypto. So yeah, we want it to be easy for you to like create a DeFi dad token and create distribution rules, and like that could be like, I think the main one that's interesting to me is distributing to your Twitter followers, your Patreon supporters, your YouTube subscribers, because essentially, like, if you think about this in the abstract, like we could essentially execute this vampire attack on Web 2 and like move people onto token permission content and social crypto. And it also needs to be easy for you. There should be one place, and in 5 minutes, like my mom should be able to like issue a token, distribute it, and like create ways to use it all like really easily. So that's our bigger picture plan.
Wow. I honestly don't have, I think, any follow-up questions, because I'm just like I'm so dumbfounded by like how useful this is. I think like everyone that has a creator token, personal token, social token, whatever you want to call it, will probably want to use this in those future tools that you're creating. Okay, so we clarified then it does track like in real time what's happening on Twitter, so it doesn't become like a gas war. Like someone could retweet it, and my worry was they go to claim, and now they're like having to punch through like 500 away to get whatever token. But really, it's like they just have to perform the action that's been requested, and they're good. They can claim it whenever is convenient. Gosh, anything else, guys, to share? Just I'm excited to see Alex, use it in the next few days, hopefully. I want to remind everyone too, you can, follow the team on, it's at Unite _CMTY. Let me throw that in here.
Yeah, if you just go to unite.community, there's a link to our Twitter and to our Discord. We've got a pretty active Discord brewing, and we'd love to have you. Please come say hi. Yeah, to your point about gas, like that is a really good point, and something that we thought a lot about. But no, it's not a race to withdraw, because you get the tokens if you were one of the first 100 people. Like there's no race to withdraw. And in fact, something interesting to consider is, I mean, the sort of like crypto person in me wants you to withdraw these tokens and have them. Mm-hmm. Not your coins, not your keys, not your coins, but like not in your wallet, not your coins. But the other thing that we're thinking about, like to address this gas problem, is instead of building all this functionality, so like there's this great tool called Collabland that everyone's using to create token permission Discord and Telegram, and that looks in your Ethereum wallet and then gives you access. But we could just as well build all of these functionalities that you can do things with these tokens to look both in your wallet and in the Unite smart contract, in which case you don't actually need to withdraw them to use them. You could like use the Unite smart contract as a wallet and then later on, like once you've accumulated a lot, do a withdrawal transaction later. So that's something we're thinking about. But yeah, there's absolutely no race to withdraw these. Like once you've earned them and taken the campaign action, they're yours.
That's cool. And that plays off of what's working in DeFi. You know, if you lend and earn more of some token, it's there in your balance. It's in a smart contract. Obviously, it's safer for you to claim that and to hold it in a wallet versus a smart contract. But I mean, end of day, like, yeah, you've definitely like elevated the ability to distribute creator tokens through this. I'm just excited about all the other future products, because this is a simple example of a campaign where someone's retweeting, but there's just all sorts of things you can do to execute what you were saying about like a vampire attack on Web 2. Like for anyone who's unfamiliar with that, it kind of refers to the fact that you're basically like sucking users out of a platform. We all thought of when SushiSwap launched, it sucked so much liquidity out of Uniswap. But when incentives are well designed, it can work. And I think in the case of SushiSwap, despite like some of the issues at the start, they've got a lasting AMM that's working well, and they've got a vibrant community. So similarly here, I'm curious, like, yeah, I definitely like, this is one of the first times I've seen light at the end of the tunnel, thinking like, maybe we could replace Twitter eventually. I mean, it's just so hard to replace these Web 2 applications. They're just so sticky. I mean, I'm on Twitter all day, so like I'm as guilty as anyone. I'm streaming this to YouTube right now, so like, who am I to criticize? Guys, anything else to share? Just congrats on like getting this to where it's at, but yeah, like super excited to see what's next. And I would imagine coin artists will probably use this. Rack will definitely use this. These are like, they've been kind of on the bleeding edge of trying every new tool for creator tokens.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. We really hope that they do, and we're doing our best to like make it easy to use and stable. I mean, one other thing I'll say, just in response to what you were saying about like, yeah, I'm also really active on Twitter and a bunch of other places. I don't think that it's intrinsically difficult to fork your Twitter following onto crypto, or fork your YouTube audience onto crypto, and that links into like some of our more like bigger picture sci-fi thinking about like what we could do much down the road once we got some of the like foundational stuff done. Because, you know, like we have a centralized bot right now, and, you know, Twitter could revoke our API key. We can get rate limited, and we're probably going to get rate limited relatively soon, like without hundreds of campaigns. Well, I should say that like, yeah, so we're running this campaign with Alex, but we're only doing like whitelisted campaign. Only whitelisted users can create campaigns like to start, because we want to make sure that it's stable and stays up. But yeah, if you want to join the whitelist, like jump in our Discord. Yeah, so like the thing is, Twitter could revoke access, and you know, any of these platforms could try to stop us from sort of like forking your following onto a social token. But it's kind of like music piracy. You know, it's impossible to stop music piracy, because the act of consuming it is the same act of pirating it. Like, you can put a microphone next to your ear and pirate music, and like no one can stop that, right? To stop that, you'd have to stop you from listening to music. And similarly, like to observe like who your Twitter followers are, or, you know, on many platforms, like observe who your followers are and your social graph is the same act of using the product, right? Like I can go on Twitter and like see your followers. Right. And so, like, sure, Twitter could ban a centralized bot, but in principle, like, we could have a decentralized network of validators who are checking who's eligible for campaign rewards. And that process of checking who's eligible for rewards is indistinguishable from normal social media usage. And, you know, we could do interesting stuff with like staking and like all kinds of interesting stuff that like we don't have to go into now, but yeah, in principle, like, I don't think there's anything intrinsically difficult about forking your Web 2 following onto Web 3, and hopefully we'll be the ones to do it.
Yeah, you've turned me into a believer. I was pretty doubtful about it. Although a few years ago, I was also really dismal about how are tokens really ever gonna get used in all of these different applications that are being designed. It just, you didn't see, like it was early, there was MakerDAO basically, and Compound was still early, and Kyber was still early, but now it feels all pretty normal. And we're still a small community, but yeah, this is really cool. I would love to have you guys back when you have, like, let us know, when you've got that next product in mind too, because I'm sure I'll see this once Alex launches it. I'll probably try to retweet and claim it as well. And I know Marguerite, or Coin Artist, she's got a huge following. So if she puts it out, she'll probably break your little centralized bot. So, well, guys, anything else to share? Otherwise, just thank you so much for your time. Like this is so cool. Like I said, I'm kind of quite a good one to end on. All the projects have been fantastic, but man, this one definitely exploded my brain.
Oh, well, let me leave you with one more thought to maybe try to like drive home why I think token permission access is interesting. So, as I said, like I'm quite active in the Jam community, and Jam's tagline is a group of crypto natives trying to find signal in the noise, and they build themselves as like the place to explore experiments around social crypto and crypto generally. Mm-hmm. And they have a token permission newsletter. And so a distinction that I think is interesting is if you look at a Web 2 newsletter, a Web 2 paid newsletter like Substack is an expense. So like maybe DeFi Dad has a newsletter and there's a free version, and then I can subscribe to the paid version for say $10 a month. Mm-hmm. And that's an expense. I pay every month and I get access to the newsletter. And in some sense, I'm like an audience member. You're broadcasting to me and I'm just reading the content. And Jam's newsletter is different. You need a whole Jam tokens, and then you can read the newsletter. But it's not an expense. It's an asset, because I can buy Jam tokens, read the newsletter, decide this is not good, and sell them. And maybe I lose like a small amount in fees. But there's a call option on the refund policy, but there's also a call option on the community value, because I'm incentivized as an asset holder to grow the value of the community. Because like if I read DeFi Dad's newsletter and I'm like, this is awesome, and I go and like post about it on Twitter and get Sebastian to join, Sebastian's going to buy DeFi Dad tokens and he's going to drive the price up, which is going to increase the value of my asset in DeFi Dad tokens, right? So I'm incentivized to grow the community in a way that I'm not with Web 2. And there's also these like interesting synergies where in the Jam community, there's a token permission newsletter and there's a token permission Discord. And, the rough drafts of the newsletter are getting posted in the Discord before they get posted publicly. And people are adding contributions and helping refine the newsletter and sharing ideas that make it into the following newsletters. And people are like upvoting their contributions using source credit at the moment. But you're incentivized to like make it better. And so there's a symbiosis where like it's not just a newsletter anymore and you're not an audience member. You become a community member and you're like directly incentivized to participate in the community because you have skin in the game. And in Web 2, like not only do you not have skin in the game, like you're getting skinned alive and turned into like ad money. So I think it totally flips the model on its head.
So interesting. Yeah. I think about trading groups. Trading groups, there's so much financial upside, and like, well, ideally, if it's a good trading group or if you have someone who is really teaching you a lot, and just similarly with token powered applications like this, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like the example you gave is the best one, that, if I'm helping refine a newsletter and you need the token to access the newsletter, it's ultimately going to drive up the price of it. And then there's a return in that, not just for the creator, but a return for everyone that holds it. That is interesting. I really love the Defiant newsletter. I love Bankless, ETHHub, Anthony Sassano's Daily Gwei. Everyone still uses Substack. I mean, it's not a criticism of them. I think if I was running a newsletter, I probably would have done it too, because it's the quickest and easiest thing. But yeah, like once you have tools like a Unite, or an equivalent to do that, like that's the sort of thing that gets me excited then to use it. Man, just thanks so much. What a mind-blowing conversation. I learned so much from you guys. Well, yeah, just reminder to everyone, you can learn more at unite.community. Again, they have a Discord group there, which I just joined. You can follow them on Twitter. And Sebastian, Alex, thanks so much for your time. Learned so much, and hopefully we can have you back in the future.
We'd love to. Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome, guys. Well, I think that's it. And, I don't think we'll have an episode of Yield TV tomorrow, unless something urgent comes up. But we'll be working on editing these episodes in the next few days, just trying to get up clips of it so everyone can see exactly how Unite works and Croc Finance and DePay. So anyways, we'll run through all of that, working with those episodes, and we'll be back I believe we'll be back next Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday in the United States. Hopefully everyone else has a pretty tame week. And hey, Ether went up over 600 today, so maybe there's some sort of connection between all of this exciting development and activity and the fact that ETH is finally pricing in all of the brilliance in our community. So congrats to everyone. And shout out again to Trent from ETH Global, who I'm just going to throw on to the live stream. Hi, Trent. Thanks for helping us with everything.
Hey, guys. That was great. Great stuff.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. And everyone should sign up for future hackathons at ethglobal.co. So I'm going to end the broadcast now, but you guys are more than welcome to hang out, and I'll be in the green room here in a sec. So anyways, bye, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving.